Welcome back, adventurers! Big drop, Splash Mountain. Disney's gonna retheme it to Princess and the Frog. Can you believe that? Just a week ago, I did a video with Brent sitting right here next to me where we talked about the reasons why we didn't think Disney would do that. And here they come out with an announcement the other day saying they're going to retheme it to Princess and the Frog. However, they say that it wasn't caving to the pressure. They were planning this for the last year. Well, I don't believe that for a second. Look, in this video, I'm going to talk about why I still don't think they're going to retheme it. I'm also going, and that's my prediction, I'm also going to give you my connection with Song of the South, some thoughts about that, about the movie, and also ask a couple questions of you, the audience, about what you think about this ride. And maybe you'll hear a few things here that are interesting stories or that you've never heard yet so far from someone else's channel that may have talked about the retheming. So, yeah, here's the history on it. The video you're watching right now was actually shot with me, my wife, and one son in front, the other son next to me. So all of us together on Splash Mountain, the last day Walt Disney World, all their parks were open. This was March 15th. So I uploaded it to YouTube, not because, I thought it was so great, it was a beautiful day, but because it was the last day before the big shutdown. And I thought that was something unique I wanted to share. There were some other videos we did from that day as well, but I want to just do the ride through because we got on Splash Mountain on the last day. It was a beautiful day for shooting it, and that's it. And, obviously countless other people have uploaded the same video, but I thought it was unique because it was that last day. So then when the petition came out to retheme it to Princess and the Frog, I made a video with Brent and said, I don't think we'll do it. They'll do it because, look, they've just canceled all these other construction plans, like Spaceship Earth at Epcot. They're not going to retheme that now. They're losing money like crazy. I gave several mostly economic reasons why I didn't think Disney would spend money on an attraction right now that doesn't need to be done, or not want to lose an attraction when people come back, when they already have so many other offerings that are not going to happen. All the theater-related shows at the Magic Kingdom and their other parks closed. The parades, they're going to be slightly different kinds of parades, but the main parades we're used to, they're not going to happen because of social distancing. And of course, the fireworks. So, why in the world would they want to take away a major attraction like Splash Mountain and close it for an extended period of time? Which brings me back as I'm thinking about these things. I'm thinking that this is a PR stunt. This is Disney trying to look good, get a lot of goodwill and credit with the society that they're listening, and not only are they going to answer the petition and do it, but they're also even one better. They are so socially conscious that they already planned this a year ago, not because of the petition, but they agree with it, and they were already in the works planning this. But of course they had nothing done yet. And they only announced it right now, 2 weeks after the petition. Interesting timing. So I don't know if I buy it. Really don't. And here's the other thing. So they haven't really set a time frame on when they're going to do it. So apparently it's going to be way in the future. So my concerns about losing an attraction, I guess they've realized that. And they're not going to close Splash Mountain. So if you think that you'll come back in this summer or early fall and all of a sudden you're going to see this Princess and the Frog attraction instead of Splash Mountain, but you're going to be disappointed. It's still going to be Splash Mountain. And I predict that it will be Splash Mountain for many, many years to come. And Disney, it's not unprecedented for Disney to do that. To say one thing about an attraction change, and then for budgeting purposes or other plans or priorities, they just stop talking about it and don't do anything. Or they officially announce that they're no longer going to make the change, this year or next year, and it's just kick the can down the road and so forth. I think that's what's going to happen with Splash Mountain. My son really does not want to see this change. He loves this ride, and he doesn't want to see anything change. He's kind of more sentimental about that. Me, I would like to see the change. I like it when they change rides. I was disappointed to see the Great Movie Ride go, but generally speaking, when they upgrade a ride or change it or add a new attraction, I'm all for that because we're annual pass holders who live nearby Walt Disney World, and we like to go, and we're seeing the same things over and over again, so I like to see new offerings and new changes made and upgrades. So I'm all for it, not for the reason of the petition, but because I don't buy that. So that brings me to this point. Song of the South. My question is, I got a couple questions for everyone. First question is, have you ever seen the movie? If you've never seen the movie, I wouldn't be surprised because it was made in 1946. And I've heard that it's racist, so I'm just going to go ahead and agree with that. I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to say that people are right about that, because why would it not be? I guess in that time frame. I mean, this is before the civil rights movement in the '60s and everything. To give some better perspective and context for the time in America, that movie was made, 1946, right? Just go back 26 years earlier, in 1920, the 19th Amendment to the Constitution was passed. That was the first time women were given the right to vote. Psh, can you imagine that? Only 100 years ago in this country, women didn't even have the right to vote. So I couldn't expect too much when it comes to, not being racist or discriminatory or offensive to people. But based on our standards today, for something that was made 75 years ago, that doesn't mean I approve it or think they should bring it back. I think Disney made the right decision to not ever put it on TV, to not put it on Disney Plus, and basically stop ever talking about it again. So it brings me to the next question. Since most people, and I will give you my connection to the movie, I promise that. I'm going to tell you the story about it in a minute. But my next question for you is, when you've gone on to Magic Kingdom and you've gone on this ride or at Disneyland, before in the last 2 weeks somebody told you should be offended by this ride, did you ever experience anything on this ride that you thought, oh, that's offensive, or that's racist, or that reminds me of Song of the South and that's not right? Anything along those lines. It never occurred to me, and I've actually seen the movie. So my question is, did you ever, before you were told to be offended by this ride, were you actually offended? It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to leave a comment. Just ask yourself this. Did I ever really think about this ride as being racist? Did I ever think zippity-doo-dah, a bluebird on my shoulder is racist? I mean, the song lyrics are not racist. I don't see the animatronic characters as being racist, so I don't really agree. If you're offended by it and you don't agree with what I just said, I respect that. And if Disney wants to respond to people who are legitimately offended by the ride and change it, well, good for them. I'm all for that. That's fine. It just didn't occur to me that it's offensive at all. And now the Song of the South. I am one of the few people probably actually seen the movie. And here's how I saw it. I didn't watch it like sitting down like you watch a movie in your TV, okay? I have an old friend who's since passed away, probably over 20 years ago. It was at his house. He invited some people over, and he would do this on a regular basis. He had 16 millimeter film projectors with sound, and he had a big collection of 16 millimeter films. Some of them were classics. He had Casablanca. That I remember watching. Very interesting to watch that on a projected screen, the thing going, and all that, and so forth. But he actually had Song of the South. He had the movie in 16 millimeter film with sound and everything, in color, and we watched it. But because I had no interest in it, like many other Disney movies, I'm a huge Disney fan, but I'm more of a Disney parks fan than I am a Disney movie fan. I'll just say that. The kids love a lot of the Disney stuff, Mickey Mouse, of course, Donald Duck, and some of the newer stuff. And but that's not something I really spend my time watching. I'd say one of my favorite movies of all time is Mary Poppins. No secret to anyone who knows me, right? I love Mary Poppins, but that's about as old as it gets for me in terms of looking at an old Disney movie. That one is in itself a unique, wonderful story about the redemption of Mr. Banks, the father figure in the movie. I just love everything about it and the music, but that's not what this video is about right now. This is about Song of the South. So I was talking with people and really wasn't paying attention to the movie. So I know there's an old man, he is a slave, he tells these stories, and it's part animation and part live action, and supposedly it was racist. I didn't really see that. More of a period thing, when like Gone with the Wind or some other thing is the way I would have thought of that they're trying to capture a real time in American history. Right or wrong wasn't the point to try to I never thought it was condoning slavery or condoning racism, but I don't really remember much at all about the movie because I really wasn't paying attention. So about 10 years ago, my friend passed away. Because he knew I appreciated his passion and his hobby for 60 millimeter films and projection film, he actually gave me everything in his will. So I actually got all those movies and the projectors. So I own Song of the South, and it's been sitting in storage ever since. So I've never watched it. I've never put it on the thing. I don't have any plans to do that because I'm still not really interested in that movie, the concept of it, or what little I do know of it. I don't even. It's a lot of trouble to set up this whole thing and do a projection. and I'm not going to do it. I did it once for Casablanca. Let me pause the video. So I'll end this video with that story and a couple other things, and that is the question: have you ever seen the movie? Did you do you think that a movie made in 1946 should be banned in any event? I don't have a problem with that personally. Just a question to ask. What about other movies that are part of cinema history, if you will? It paints a picture of this kind of thing. Gone with the Wind, for instance, Civil War era film, considered one of the greatest movies ever made, apparently. And yet, I would think that if Song of the South was bad, then that one must be bad too, because it's depicting that era, I guess, right? But I don't know. It's just a thought. So, do you want to see Splash Mountain rethemed, or do you not? I'm on the side of actually, I would like to see it rethemed, but for different reasons, just to have a new offering and so forth. But I also know that means they're going to have to close the ride for a very long period of time. I have no idea why it takes so long when they do these, but it does. And so to see it close for a year or two and not be open will be sad. But what comes back, the job of Disney is simply this: you gotta make a ride that's not offensive to anybody, right? So everyone can enjoy it. No one walks away being offended, right? And if people did with Splash Mountain, although I highly doubt it, but you're really stretching to be offended by this ride. Colorful little animal characters and a happy zippity doo dah song. I just don't see how that's racist. But but if you're offended, fine. They change it. So Disney will accommodate that segment of society. But what about the segment that are their diehard fans that just say, no way, I don't want you to retheme it. It's a classic. I want it to stay the same, right? They got to please them too, which is good news, that what they make has got to be kind of over the top really good. It's got to beat Splash Mountain, which is already pretty awesome, right? So it's possible if they can bring Disney fans back that didn't want to change and have them have a change of heart where they go, wow, this is such a cool ride now, I actually like what they do, then that would be a big score for Disney. That would be the way to do it. So that's my advice to Disney. If you're going to change it, make it awesome, right? But at the same time, I'm also a realist, and I believe that they are going to probably kick this can down the road many years before they ever do a thing, if at all. There it is. I hope you subscribe to this channel. Click the like button and watch our channel for more Orlando attractions, theme parks, water parks, and fun things to do in and around Orlando as everything starts to come back. Hopefully, the news right now at the filming of this is not so good on the virus numbers. So hopefully, we don't revert back into complete shutdown. But anything's possible. 2020, crazy year that this is. So with that, I want to say goodbye. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye-bye.